Madam Speaker, Mr. Chairman, the whole premise of civil government is that we'll be safer inside the social contract than outside of it. The state of nature, which Thomas Hobbes famously described as a state of war, solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. So we give up the habits of violent self-help for trust in the rule of law and the impartial administration of justice. But where was the American social contract for George Floyd, as Officer Chauvin asphyxiated him with his knee as he begged for his life? Or Breonna Taylor, a 26-year-old EMT who was shot 8 times in her own bed by officers carrying a no-knock warrant? Or Tamir Rice, a 12-year-old boy who had a water fight in the park and then was shot dead by a police officer getting out of his car? The American social contract has always been contaminated by racism. In the words of the Supreme Court in the Dred Scott decision, our Constitution began as a white man's compact in which the African American had no rights the white man was bound to respect. The Civil War gave us the chance for a new birth of freedom, but after 12 years of Reconstruction, it was washed away by the KKK.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Could I request 30 seconds more?
I yield the gentleman an additional 30 seconds.
American apartheid lasted until the modern civil rights movement, when the blood sacrifice of John Lewis and Schwerner, Cheney, and Goodman and Dr. King gave us the Civil Rights Act of '64 and the Voting Rights Act of '65. But we've been brought back to the baseline of violent white supremacy by a reactionary Supreme Court and a president who looks into the souls of white supremacists and sees very fine people. This is the real deep state in America. Violent white racism. Black Lives Matter and America's young people have given us the chance to launch a new birth of freedom, a third Reconstruction in America. Let's start today with the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. I yield back.
Gentleman.